There's been soldiers and singing on the streets of Washington, D.C. as protests in the United States stretch into a second week. As Barack Obama broke his silence, offering words of hope, White House officials compared Donald Trump to Winston Churchill.
Dominating the streets. Combat vehicles, military police and officers of the National Guard, making it clear all roads to the White House were off limits.
We need healing, but we also need strength and we need toughness and we need law and order. We need it all, but we do need healing.
Protesters returned regardless.
We are not going anywhere.
As news of further charges over George Floyd's death filtered through.
It feels like we're getting some sort of justice. They should have been charged for murder because that's what it was. It was straight up and down murder.
With hundreds of troops deployed and President Trump threatening to use them, his defence secretary broke ranks.
The option to use active duty forces in a law enforcement role should only be used as a matter of last resort and only in the most urgent and dire of situations. We are not in one of those situations now. I do not support invoking the Insurrection Act.
The president has the sole authority to invoke the Insurrection Act. We cannot have burning churches. We cannot have police officers who are shot. We cannot have businesses that are looted and destroyed.
Comparing the president's photo opportunity on Monday night to powerful leaders throughout history.
Like Churchill, we saw him inspecting the bombing damage. It sent a powerful message of leadership to the British people, and George W. Bush throwing out the ceremonial first pitch after 9/11.
With the president at odds with the Pentagon over how to use the US military, today Donald Trump's former defense secretary launched a scathing attack on the commander-in-chief, describing him as a threat to the Constitution, accusing him of turning Americans against one another.
On the West Coast,
Oh my God! Wow. Oh my God!
A car ploughed through crowds as thousands marched peacefully in Los Angeles. On the East Coast, healthcare workers cheered on demonstrators in New York. But in Indiana, silence as heavily armed locals watched on. And as crowds sang in the shadow of the White House, a former resident broke his silence.
There is a change in mindset that's taking place, a greater recognition that we can do better.
In Washington, D.C., Amelia Adams, 9 News.